Greetings, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Capricorn, a lot of you guys have the demon of lust and possessiveness. Mine, like Schmeagol, it's mine, upon you. So, if those are things that you have struggled with and you have not yet beat those demons, then you will be forced to, or you will have to make certain sacrifices as such. So for my Capricorns who are more further evolved, who have had long extended periods of celibacy, who have had long experiences in their life of giving things up, of being generous, of being selfless, and of volunteering, and of being servants to others or humanity in general, or animals or nature. Those who have done that, it will be less for you, and I feel like those blessings have already come in or will be coming in a little bit swifter. For my Capricorns who are still in the physical, the reptilian brain, so to speak, and have not yet made the jump into their heart space to access the higher chakras, energy point centers, whatever you want to call them, it's going to be like a blunt force object, just to be totally honest with you, sometime between now and July. So for my Capricorns, you are being warned. Now, for some of my Capricorns, there could be some news here about an inheritance, or about someone passing, or about a home, or about custody of something. There could be something gifted at a distance, so you would have to travel to receive this thing, to have this thing, to take this thing, to take on this new project. For some of my Capricorns, somebody is in a partnership with somebody who is going to have to back out of that partnership, and they have been eyeing you, they have been scouting you, because I kept getting scout, so it can be like, hello scout, or, and I'm hearing sport, so hey, good sport, so isn't that from Gatsby, The Great Gatsby? I was gonna say Wolf on Wall Street. I don't know, maybe something like that. Now I'm just thinking, Trevor Wallace just did a recent skit on the Wolf of Walgreens, kids who sold candy in high school. So the fact that I'm saying this, Capricorn, for my Capricorn boys, you could have been the type who sold something when you were in high school. You were known for selling something out of your car. Maybe it was candy, maybe it was candy. Anywho, Capricorn, if you're still selling candy or anything like that, you're gonna get caught and, hit the boot, because I literally have like the 4 cards that I would use as like jail or locked up. So some of my Capricorns, if you aren't, if you're a law-abiding citizen, but you're still someone who's very possessive, who has issues with that, then you could be, stunted in some other way. So either, a lot of traffic, flight gets canceled, turbulent weather, or something out of your control that happens physically. It can also be like a small injury or getting sick for a time period, things like that. So just be cautious of that. For some of my Capricorns, you could be dealing with a Taurus, Pisces, Aries, or Cancer, or you could have these placements in your chart. For some of my Capricorns, there is a sudden detour relocation. For some of my Capricorns, you are meant to work in the money market, whether that's like real estate, investing, stocks, finances, in any sort of way like that. There's something here on putting a focus on that. So for some of my Capricorns, if you've been trying to build a certain company or a certain business, it's not that God doesn't want you to do that. It's that he needs you to build your own independent wealth in a different way first, and then build that. I believe it was Dave Ramsey who said we ideally want to have 7 forms of income. So some of my Capricorns, you might only have like 1 to 3. And before any of your most prized ones grow, God needs to make a more stable passive income in your life. And so there's something here where you're going to be taking like a 3-week, 3-day, 3-month hiatus, and there's a need for you to travel or learn or get educated in this other arena. And it's like you don't know it yet, but it's going to be something new. It's going to be fun. It's going to help expedite your other goals. And you're going to be able to do something where it's like you look back 4 years and you're like, man, 4 years ago I was in a dark spot, rough spot. But 4 years from today, it's like you're going to almost achieve all of your dreams in like a 4-year period that didn't occur over the first 30, 40, or 50 years of your life kind of thing. For some of my Capricorns, there are new relationships here for you. Some of my Capricorns are total players. You play the field, the person you want or like, you feel like they also play the field. You could be in the public eye, they could, or you could just be popular or well known in your industry, and it's like you have other people in your industry looking at you, eyeing you. So it's kind of like a competitive field. It's competition here. Everyone's trying to decide, like, do I shoot my shot? Do I not? For my Capricorn men, I need you to think about this. If you actually want a feminine woman, you cannot ever expect her to do the courting or to reach out, because that literally goes against polarity and masculine and feminine dynamics. And I'm not speaking about what's between the legs. I'm speaking about masculine and feminine polarity and energy, because even in same-sex couples, there is someone who has a more masculine frame and someone else who has a more feminine frame. And there are relationships where they switch, but the only way that it works is because they have a deep understanding of when they are in said role. And then they communicate well when they switch those roles. So there's something here for my Capricorns that something just may not be happening in your relationships, even like friendships. There can be a thwarting. I'm hearing the word thwart. I never use that word. There can be a thwarting. I don't even know what that means in this texture, but that's what Spirit's saying. Also, something about textures. It's like you're missing the texture, or there's no texture. And it's like that's the texture that's missing, is like you're not understanding. It's like if you want a woman to reach out or to start things where you're like, well, the phone goes both ways. Not if you want a feminine woman, it doesn't. Like, she's being polite and waiting for you to court and waiting for you to step up and do what men have done for centuries and what is genetically designed in your DNA. And again, for same-sex couples, someone has to be more masculine, someone has to have more feminine energy. It's just an energy. So, and that's how, I don't know, our energy bodies work. So for some of my Capricorns, there's like fluidity or confusion when it comes to the energy, and that needs some more internal work. Like, you need to feel more, because like I was getting with texture, some of my Capricorns, you could have like numbness, so look out for circulation. You need to do things that help increase circulation, but also some of my Capricorns could just be numb because of substances. So maybe you should, like, you know, try and do some, because when I see the Hangman, with the energies that I'm seeing, it's an energy of needing to kind of pull back after being gluttonous or just over gluttonous, consuming too much, like over consumptive. It's like if you've been consuming too much bang, 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 or too much alcohol, or too much video games, or too much sleep, or whatever it is, too much exercise. It's like you are being forced to go into the opposition right now and kind of sit and get something of balance. It has to do with self-mastery. Because some of my Capricorns, it's like you are reverting back to previous versions of yourself, and Spirit is kind of needing you to take a pause and a time out before the next launch. I'm hearing ready to launch. I'm also hearing failure to launch, but sometimes when it's failure to launch, it's not really failure to launch. It's just the wrong time. It's the wrong opportunity. So it's Spirit saying, hold on, hold on, hold on, not yet. I need our foundation to have a certain stability to it before I throw you out there, because otherwise you'll get eaten by the wolves. So there's something here about really having patience and knowing that you have God's preference, especially when he protects you in those moments.